At the edge of the map, the road gives way to water. The noise thins out, the air sharpens. It's a place where the horizon does the talking. Well, up until this point in my year-long journey, I thought I was documenting places. Instead, well, I think I've been collecting perspectives. Somewhere around this halfway mark, the weight starts to lift. And the road, well, it feels open again.
Here we are in Delaware, Bethany Beach. And it's chilly. All right, just a real quick room tour. I seem to be doing a lot of these lately. This is my room here at the Bethany Beach in Delaware. I ended up going south of Rehoboth and Dewey Beach and just I went back and forth over the bridge and I decided to stay down here. Nice view. In fact, I'm going to snap a still of that. Fairly reasonable rate. This is the view here. And I'll probably sleep with this open. A little bit of ocean activity. There's a boardwalk up there. I gotta go move my car though, so they don't charge me for parking.
There's something quite fulfilling about documenting a season of your life. Not to prove anything, but to notice it while it's happening. Well, if I could talk to my 20 or 30-year-old self, that reminder would be high on the list. So Delaware, have you been there? This was my first time in this state, America's first state. What I love about this part of the country is how quickly the scenery can change. In just a short drive, the wide openness of the Atlantic gives way to quiet, protected spaces where the land is allowed to stay wild.
So, I mean, what can I say? I'm amongst the wildlife here. I'll tell you in a second. First of all, what the hell am I doing climbing this thing? So, we got ducks behind me. Got ducks all around. I'm in a wilderness area. First of all, this couldn't be any darker. Let me just take 2 more pictures and then I'll talk to you in the car. I was gonna say there goes a big flock of geese, but there goes a goose. Look at this place. I won't. Well, I'd love to see some deer on the way out. I just don't want them to see the car. In other words, I don't want to run into the deer. Take it nice and slow. So I just saw a couple of carloads of hunters back there, and I stopped. They were all in blaze orange, and I stopped, and I says, hey, what's going on? And I says, you guys, what are you guys hunting for? He goes, oh, we were hunting for deer. I says, oh, I used to hunt deer up in Pennsylvania. I says, so what's the season here? He goes, today was the first day. I says, oh yeah, you get anything? He goes, we didn't even see anything. He goes, it's getting really bad around here. See, they all come up here, I guess. There was a little hook board thing that it looks like maybe if you're going to a certain stand, you put your ring on there, or I don't know what the deal is. I have no information. But that's where the deer hunters were. And I didn't see any deer. Here I am in this cute little beach town. Right in the ocean. Bethany, Delaware. And it's like 47 degrees. Anyway, I'm just checking out the DJI Action 5 low light. Let's see if it's noisy. I've only done this like 10,000 times. Noticing the cameras here. Look at that. 3 cameras there, and then 3 way up top. So if I decided to fly my drone here, I would be on camera flying the drone. I mean, you know, if this is a really cool coastline, it might be worth doing it. By the way, full moon, check this out. Apparently there was some major storm damage in 2023. Wow, look at that. My God, I think that's where I am. That's my hotel over there. There's 2 parts. I'm in the south part. There's the north part here. Wonder how that looks. Is it noisy? Does it look good? Looks good on this tiny screen. I don't know what that is. That's a plane. Looks like a streaky thing because of the lensing. I guess, I have no idea. So I had dinner at this little Mexican place, and you know, since I stopped drinking, check this out. Wow, looks fantastic on the screen. Of course, when I blow it up, it might be grainy as hell. Anyway, since I stopped drinking, I really notice how loud everyone is when they are drinking. There were 3 middle-aged ladies at the bar that were just, I mean, I'm not dogging them. They were having a great time, but they were just cackling and laughing, and you know, that belly laugh, like, just like you can't even breathe, you're laughing so hard. It made me smile. It made me kind of be a little happy, you know? Even if they were trashed. I'm gonna charge the drone. I have to see what my drone footage looks like. Haven't looked at any of it yet. Walk out here. Give you a quick view of outside. That's it. Alright. Good night. I'll see you in the morning. I'm almost done with my 3-state journey here of visiting Maryland, Delaware, and Virginia. Virginia's next, actually. Heading there this morning. Going to stay in a place called Chincoteague, Virginia. I remember my parents went there on a van rally one time. It's supposed to be a bunch of wild horses there, and there's not going to be a lot of opportunities to fly the drone. I was noticing on a couple of my apps last night. There's just red everywhere, which means it's restricted. I'm not sure why. I don't know what's going on there. You can't even get a NOTAM to fly to 200 feet where I'm going to be. But anyway, there's going to be other stuff to do. Again, I'm leaving Delaware here shortly, but I think I'll share one of the things I noticed yesterday when I took off to go to that area where the hunters were, where I photographed the sunset last night. There's a lot of neighborhoods here that are really, they're like dead. There's like nobody here. And neighborhoods of all kinds, like with really nice homes, with like villas and condos, and there just seem to be, rows and rows and rows of roads and houses that were just vacant. And I don't know if that's because this is really seasonal here, or what. Maybe the people that have second homes that don't come here don't support the businesses that need the labor to support the smaller homes that house the labor. I'm not sure how loud that AC is. So yeah, we'll do a little filming of that as we leave here. I'll show you what I'm talking about, and then we'll probably close this Delaware episode out at some point before I hit Maryland. Virginia, sorry. Too many states. Anyway, I'm gonna grab the bags and head out to the car, and we'll see you on the road.
Well, if you've watched more than one of these episodes, you've probably seen this little gag before. My ex-wife has told me several times that I am my own best audience, and I'm not going to disagree with her. Anyway, this is a little uncut version of what I go through to create this silly gag.
Clown.
So I'm in an odd spot here in the edit process. Do I create one long, boring episode, or do I shorten this down into 2 different half-assed episodes? I'm going to opt for the latter. Anyway, none of that's too relevant to what I need to try to do here, and that is to end this episode. I'm showing some footage here. Here's a half-assed drone flight I did. I put the bird up, and it was so windy I almost brought it down immediately. The rest of this footage here is, well, I was zigzagging around outside of this little town I was at, which I already forget. I was just editing it. Where was I at? I did a couple of blog posts about Delaware on my 50 at 60 site, and I'll show you that right here. And if I remember, I'll do links to them in the description. As I continue to edit these, I'm trying to focus a little bit more and bring in value, and I'm not really sure what that value is yet, if you can believe it. 83 episodes in, and I still don't know what I'm doing. I mean, who are these videos for anyway? And the air conditioner just kicked on. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you in, where am I going? Chincoteague Island next, in Virginia, my next state. By the way, I hope you enjoy the holiday season. And again, thanks for being here. I appreciate it. It means a lot. Have a good week.